Hello YouTube family, welcome to another episode of Pips and Points. Chances are I'm going to be changing the name very soon to something new, so I won't be saying Pips and Points anymore. I'll be saying something else, but for the sake of this video, welcome to Pips and Points. I'm your host, Jono, and today we're going to be talking about the Nas100. So Nas100, what the Nas100 has been doing since the 29th of December 2021, and today is Sunday the 2nd of January 2022. So happy new year to you all. And if this is the first time you come across my video and you find the content super useful, it would be fantastic if you subscribe and obviously hit the like button to help the algorithms, etc. But if you can't be asked to do all of that, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do that, but if you can't bother to do all of that, thank you for coming over and watching anyway. I appreciate you just for coming over and listening to what I've got to say in regards to what's going on with the Nas100, as well as we'll most likely be looking at gold as well, and silver, and euro USD, as well as GBPJPY. So there's a few things that we want to talk about there before market opens on the 3rd of Jan, tomorrow. Okay, so right now, before I even get into all of that, okay, there was an indicator that I mentioned in my previous video that literally was given out, but however I don't think the viewers watching got that, so we're going to do it at the very beginning, right? So the very beginning is this particular indicator here. So this indicator we're talking about is it is the daily open indicator, right? So daily open indicator works fantastic on the hourly, it's all right on the 4 hourly, but it works better on the hourly, to be fair, if I was to give my opinion on that. And this is it, right? So literally all you would do is, it's just going to move my screen down a bit, right? So all you would do is you go to this little icon here, right? You hit that, and that is in trading view, and then you type in daily, and obviously it's already here, and then you select that, and then that will give you access to the daily opens, right? So that's all that is. To use that indicator was just to use that as a daily open, and yeah, so that's it. It's a free indicator, it's free for everyone to use. I don't hide what it is that I do and how I do it, but I just like to release things incrementally, just so that it has that much of bigger reach in terms of people coming over and watching. So there you go, the daily the daily open. So we're going to keep this open for now. We're just going to keep this open for now as we talk about potential situations that are coming up. So first things first, last week 29th of December, we put in a hypothetical sell order. So this is a fake sell order, not a real sell order, it's a fake one that we've put on, right? And it was in hope, so this was basically scratching a little itch that I had. So it was in hope that we would get this particular price, which is currently at 1628, down to around 1564, that region. 1571 to roughly around 1549, around that region or lower would be better. Okay, so we're hoping we're going to get priced down to this level where I plan on jumping on, making some purchases, which is going to be real world buys, because that's what I'm waiting for. I've been waiting weeks for this opportunity to happen, literally weeks. And just so if this is the first time you're coming across, and you're more than welcome to go back and watch all the other videos, you will notice that we noticed this particular situation here. And what did I do? Absolutely nothing. I saw this situation here, and this is the one that's hurt me the most, to be fair. This is the one that's left me a little bit wounded, because I saw this play. I literally saw this play, and I chose to wait. And when it got up here and it started forming this particular pattern that we're looking at now, this is where I started to get a bit like, oh, maybe I was a bit silly in not taking that purchase down here when it showed up, because it did. I saw it for what it was, but I thought I was going to get a better price, and I might still get a better price, but I don't know, because the current shape that it's giving me right now in this location, it's not the shape that lets me know that this is going to be falling a lot more. It kind of, it's oh geez, let me lock this in place. Actually, it's kind of giving me the feeling that it's most likely going to do something like this. It's going to come down and then it's going to go up, and then it's going to go up there somewhere. This is the kind of feeling that it's giving me, right? And that feeling, what does that mean? That basically means that there's more waiting I'm going to have to do. I'm going to be waiting around until it gets down to this level, or it gets down to a level along this trend line that is further up, right? All because I chose not to get involved here. So this is what is frustrating me right now at the moment, but it is what it is. Sometimes we do these things. I mean, it's not unique to me. Everybody does it now and again. You see a play, you call it wrong, and then you just gotta sit there and watch if you've got any type of discipline. If you don't, then you'll jump in, and sometimes it might work in your favor, and sometimes it might not work in your favor. It just depends on how skillful you are in this world that we're a part of, which is the markets. So as it stands right now, this is what I believe, this is what I feel is going to happen, and what I hope is going to happen is where I've put this sell, which is all the way down here, which is what I hope for, because then that would then kind of set me up nicely, right? So with this covered now we're gonna look at gold, because gold is looking not great, so I just want to get that one out of the way. Okay, so gold on video commencing the 29th. Let's get rid of this Fibonacci. Let's get rid of that, because that didn't help at all. So gold, basically how we had gold organized was we put in another sell order up here, right? So we put another sell order up here to ride this whole situation down, and as you can see, we've been stopped out. So I was able to recoup a little bit of profits in gold, right? And this is a hypothetical sell, so it's not a real sell, it's a hypothetical sell. So we managed to catch a little bit of profit. So the first trade that we did was somewhere around this region, and we got it all the way down here. So we got it, I'm just going to draw a quick line. So we got it from roughly from about this level till about here, right? Let me make this line a bit fatter. Right, so we got it from about here to about down here. We got that profit, and then we waited for it to go up so we could sell some more. But as you can see, it looks like we've been stopped out, so we've lost money on the bigger trade, which is substantial, right? So if this was a real trade, you would feel this hit right here, right? There is no denying it. You're gonna feel that. And then we've taken a smaller hit up here. Okay, such is the name of the game. That's why, hence why, averaging up or averaging down, you kind of need to know what you're doing if you're gonna do that, because it could go wrong. And even though this is a hypothetical trade, I would like to treat these trades as real trades. So hence why I refer to it in a way where it feels real, because I need it to be that way as I'm practicing, sharpening my skills, and obviously imparting that knowledge onto you, that whatever form of practice that you get into, you want to treat it as real as you possibly can, but you can never get it as real as when you actually got skin in the game. That's when it's ultimately real. You cannot fake your emotions or anything when it's actually in that when it's actually in the swing of things. Okay, so as it stands now, so if you jump into the 4 hourly, you can see this is what we've got going on at the moment. And so far, where gold is, where it is right now, okay, right, I wouldn't be wrong in adding on another sell order. I literally wouldn't be wrong in, let me get rid of these because they're no use now. They've gone, the orders on that went bust. You got it wrong, so the orders on that went bust, right? But however, at the same time, okay, this location where gold is right now, okay, right, and I mean, you could get it wrong. Once again, in this video, I say all the time, and I'll keep saying it, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is only for entertainment purposes only. We're just here educating ourselves in regards to potential plays that we could or could not make in the market for next week commencing the 3rd of January. Okay, so looking at where gold is right now, okay, right, and this, you could get this wrong, right, but me personally, I would be super confident in putting in another sell order, even though I've just got my arse shoe off. Literally, I feel absolutely confident. So let's just draw out a potential situation right here. Let's draw out a potential situation, right? Let's draw a potential situation right now, and let's see how we're gonna make this happen. Okay. So at the moment, looking at where it is, so when market opens, obviously, let me turn this on. Market open, so at least you get to see why I like this particular thing so much. So when market opens, right, so I've just put the fib in play now, and obviously all the numbers in the fib are all missing. Look, if you want to know until I actually tell you what the configuration of the fib is, but if you're desperately trying to figure out, you need to go to the previous videos and then pull it on pause and then look at how I got everything configured, and if you got what it takes, you could copy the whole thing. But I'm going to release all this in upcoming videos for absolutely nothing, so I'm just going to expose it all, but I want more people to be involved with this channel before I do. That's all I'm waiting for, right? So it's not, I think it's going to be better that way if I do it so more people can see it. So in the meantime, we're going to work through it. We're going to work with it like this, how it's all set up, right? So I kind of know what all these lines means because I've color coded them all, so I know what every single one of these mean, what levels they are, etc. Okay, so as it stands right now, this level right here is the recommended level for me to sell at, right? But also selling at this level, it's not a bad idea also. Right? So let me let me really amp this the fib up. Okay. So at this level, it's not looking too bad. So literally, before market opens, we're going to do another hypothetical order. Bearing in mind, we've lost 3 orders in gold at the moment. So we've done a double, so we know we've lost 3 orders, and we've placed 4 orders on gold, hypothetical orders on gold. So 4 hypothetical orders, right? And we've won 1, and we've lost. Actually, no, not 4. Sorry, my mistake. We've done 3 hypothetical orders on gold. We're about to do the 4th one now, and we've won 1, which is not a big win, it's very small, and we've taken 1 fat L and 1 small L, right? So overall, we're losing on gold. We're not winning at all. So we're gonna try to recruit that. This idea is not recommended for the real world. It could get you into more hot water than need be, but we're gonna do that anyways, right? But that's what we do. We're gonna do that anyways, right? And we're gonna make sure the stop is a little bit smaller this time around. So stop is smaller, right? And we're gonna ride it down to 100%, just under 100%, right? And this is what we're gonna be keeping an eye on moving forward for the coming days of week to see if you got this right or not, right? So first things first, as soon as the market goes on, so the market will be turned to the lights on. It's what I like to call when the lights come on. It's roughly going to be around 11:30 in the evening for me, and I'm based in the UK, London. So it's going to be around 11:30 in the night. So 11:30 in the night, okay. This gold is going to be doing all kinds of things, but ideally, if I was to make an entry, I would say, do you know, I'll be realistic. I'll be right? I'll be super realistic. Let's just say the market enters, right? Yeah, market enters. Actually, no, we're not going to be realistic. We bought the market. Actually, yeah, we are going to be realistic. Sorry. We're going to say we bought it around here, right? So it's either, if it's gone all the way up, right? If it's gone all the way up, then fair play. That's what's happened. But if it flies down, we're going to catch it at this level. and that's assuming that I stay up till 11. So I stay up to 11, I wait for it, and then we lock it in, and then that's what happens, right? And bearing in mind that it's about to go into oversold right now. It's just super on the edge of the RSI. So where we're actually putting in our sell order, it's not a bad spot at all. But we're going to see once market opens and where everything goes, right? So that's what's happening so far with gold. It's we've taken a punch in the face, but let's see if that changes. Let me get rid of this pointless line for the minute. These are obeying each other, so we keep that there. And for those of you guys watching this for the very first time, trying to learn the market, this is more or less what the market is like, unless if you're trading on a short time frame. It's literally is you place the order and you just sit there and watch it over days and weeks. That's what it is. That is what it is. All right. So first one locked in. Boom. Well, second one locked in actually. So now we're going to take a look at silver to see what is happening in that world. Okay, now silver is looking fantastic. Silver is looking great. Silver is looking fantastic, and as you can see here, we've got the Fibonacci here again, so you can see the levels, right? They're right here. So if you wanted to copy them, you could kind of use this to figure it out. Right, I'm actually thinking about getting rid of this and putting the other one back on, but we keep it there for now. It's not doing no harm. At the moment. So yeah, so silver's looking great. So what I'm expecting of silver is what I'm hoping to get from silver. Okay, so we're gonna see where it pushes up to, because this is still in the formation. If it gets up here, there's a very good chance it's gonna come back down again, which basically means I need to raise the trailing stop, which means that if it continues to go up, there's a very good chance I will be able to actually, yeah, this Fibonacci is not, I don't like this one at all. I don't. Let me get rid of this one. Let me set up. You see why in a moment, because lately I haven't really been laying in the fibs in the way that I should have been laying them in. They've been very not productive way of laying them down, so it's the information being provided was somewhat misleading. Okay, so this makes more sense, right? So this makes more sense, and plus when the fib done right, it really can help in terms of how you're able to locate potential levels, etc., without clogging up the chart too much. So technically the chart should only be filled with drawings that kind of look like this, and less of the other stuff that I have going on when I'm actually doing the technicals on charts. So at the moment, so as you can see, silver's looking great. So we've averaged up in silver, right? So we took a purchase here, we took a purchase over here, and they're both in profit. So that's what you want to see, right? And we're gonna see what happens. So literally in this case, I said I was going to bring in the trailing stop here, but I'm going to bring in the trailing stop roughly around this level, but that is once it hits this level, right? And then before it takes me up to the next percentage in the Fibonacci levels, which is up here, I would have had at least the 68% line locked in, which is this level right here. So this is looking good. Silver is looking great. Like silver is looking great right now. Okay, this is the shape that it's in. So So there is a pullback expected. So if there was going to be a pullback, where would I expect it to be? To be fair, I would expect it to be on this level, because this is a blank area right now, but this is roughly 50% of the Fibonacci. Okay, so this area right here is roughly the 50% of the Fibonacci. But in my Fibonacci, how I've customized it, I've removed the 50% out of it. Okay, so it just goes from 38 to 68. That's it. 50% gone. See, there's a golden nugget. So for those of you that were watching, there's a golden nugget. Okay, okay, yep. So that would be that level. So I would be expecting a pullback around that level. Hence why I will adjust. My trailing to make sure that it covers that area. So in the next few hours, I'm gonna find out exactly what's going on, what is happening, and how I plan on playing this whole situation, which is all hypothetical. So I'm not actually playing this. This is hypothetical. The one that we are playing is the Nas100 because it's super straightforward to get my head around that in terms of what I'm trying to do and the targets I'm trying to hit. But it does not stop me calling out other opportunities that you guys, my wonderful followers, might be interested in. So that's what I do. I help call out those situations. You then go into the lab, break out the charts, check out where everything is. If it all makes sense to you, then obviously you do when you do what you do when things make sense, which is obviously take action. Right, so we've covered that, and there's nothing more to say about silver apart from it is doing what it needed to do. And just to explain what we did earlier, so if I was to zoom in, you get the idea of what we was looking for. So we waited for this structure to break, right? So this was the structure we was looking at when we first got into silver, okay, and it broke. Then we waited for the pullback, which came to this level, and the Fed recommended it, and then we jumped in, and we've been riding it since until it pulled back down again, right? And it was, hey, it makes sense to jump back in again. So we jumped back in again, so we've averaged in, and now we're going to see what levels it gives us. That's basically it. See what levels it gives us. But at the moment, everyone is happy because at the level, and right now as we speak, there is a phantom trailing stop that we brought in for this particular order. So this is the first order, which is brought in here, which would have covered the overnight fees for this asset and for this order and this order, right? And this order, the stop is still active, so it hasn't been moved to protect anything at the moment. It's still active. So we're gonna wait before we bring this one into profit as well. We want it to at least get over 2403. So it gets over 2403, that'll be the perfect time to actually bring in the trailing, and the trailing will come in just under 2301. Why 2301? Because literally this level right here is a good level for the 50% fib to be. So if there's going to be any retracement on a continuous push up, it would be around this level. And if you look where the current price is right now, if it continues up on its trajectory and it was to come back down, chances are it will be landing somewhere around here or around here. It will be around this region right here. Let me draw a little box. So it'll be around this little region right here if it maintains this structure that we're in at the moment. So it'll be around either here or here, okay? And if we have the trailing stop right underneath here, it makes sense. Or if we're eyeballing the trading stop to be under here, it makes sense over here. Why? Because once it clears this area, I know that any pullback potentially coming down, especially if it does something that looks like this, right? Especially say for example it goes up, right? So it's gone up, boom, and then it's come down, and then it gives a short top. So it touches this, and then it looks like it wants to come back down. We're gonna need a fib right here, because if it breaks down, at least we've gotten all of that, right? If it continues up on this uptrend, and bearing in mind where it makes sense for this whole thing to get off, it will be here. It will be at 100% level. Why? Because it's done it here. So we've had one confirmation here, one confirmation. So we had one confirmation at this level, 2155. We've had the same thing, 2155 over here, and now we've got 2544 up here, right? So the chances are it's going to do that again. That is my personal thinking. So like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but I would assume that it's going to try to fill this area again and make these highs before it tries to come back down again, right? But however, in between it doing all of that, it might want to play around and wreak havoc and do things that that no one's gonna like, but at the same time you want to make sure that you protect the pips that you've gained at all times. You know, you want to make sure you protect it, so at least you're not losing. And if you do lose, if you do lose, what I consider a loss is either a disaster, which is beyond your control. You lost and you were losing and you just try to make it better, but it just ended up being worse. So you have that situation. And there is where you protected yourself, but it closed you out in a small profit. Okay, so those are the two extremes, but it shouldn't be like a reds all the time when things don't go your way. And that's not how you should be playing this world. That's not how I play it at all. I always like to play it where every trade I go in, if I don't get what I want, at least I get something. That's how I normally like to do it, right? So okay, so that's what I think silver's gonna do, right? So we'll find that out over the course of the coming days what silver is actually gonna do. But in the meantime, it's looking fantastic, and I'm happy with how this trade is going right now. I really am. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it and we'll see what happens. So the next thing that we're going to look at right now is we're going to look at EURUSD, because that was in a confusing spot, and it is still in a confusing spot. It is still in a confusing spot. It is still in a confusing spot. I don't like it one bit. I do not like it one bit. But however, and this is the bit that I do like, and I'm pretty sure that the powers that be, I mean, when I mean the powers that I mean other retail traders that are involved in the trades, they're watching this too, would have noticed this little shape right here. Would have noticed this little shape right here, and would have noticed this little shape right here also. So let's get rid of the fib. Let's get rid of that. We don't need that right now. Would have noticed this as well. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think this is going to break up. I literally do not think this is going to break up. And what's cool about this now is, this now gives us a perfect opportunity to now think, okay, we can actually start putting in sell orders here. So what you could do, really, right, yeah, what you could actually do, depending on how you want it, and depending on how confident you are, like, because in moments of indecisions like this, there's only one or two ways you can play it, to be fair, right? You could set up your sell orders like this, right? You can set up your sell orders like this. Set up your sell orders like this, right? And you could make this your take profit. Okay, because the thing is this, right? If you set up the sell orders under this trend line over here, you're gonna need to cover the funnel, right? You're gonna need to cover the funnel, and if you're gonna cover the funnel, right, then it might also make sense. It might also make sense, but is to do this also, which is more or less like a hedge. Is to do this also, right? But at this level, how you will organize your take profit will be this. But then I'm going to show you something else, and then you can decide what you think would make sense in this situation, right? Let's have a quick look. Do you know what I mean? So you could set it up like this, right? And even setting it up like this, there is no guarantees, but this is how you would more or less want to kind of set up the sell order if you was to play it. If you was to play it, and if you was to play it how I would play it, right? But you wasn't sure, right? But me personally, if I was genuinely going to play this, I wouldn't take the upside. I would take the downside. And the reason why I would take the downside is I'm going to go into the daily, and hopefully I should be able to explain it better. It's because of this situation right here, right? So this situation is saying that it's got more falling to do. That's what this trend line is telling me, that this is not done. It's going to come roughly around here, right? And it's going to come here, and the reason for it getting to this level is going to be a combination of things: news and just the overall trajectory of the markets at the moment, right? And if I look at the overall trend, it looks like it's going to give me a new lower low. So even if I look at a trend on the RSI, it looks like it's going to give me a new lower low. Let me get rid of this. It looks like it's going to give me a new lower low. Obviously nothing's guaranteed, but that's how I'm reading it. Like, if I just got to be honest, that's how I'm reading it. So that's what I would do. But for the meantime, I would leave this alone until I can really figure out exactly what it's doing. And at the moment, I just can't. Because of the shape it's in. I mean, the shape it's in, I have a good idea in terms of what it's going to do, in terms of what is the highest probability that it's going to fly down. I believe it's actually going to fly down. But however, at the moment, I want a confirmation, and I don't have one. And I think possibly a news is going to give us confirmation. So bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to check to see the news on that, because that's one thing I should have done before I even started recording, was check to see if there is news on this particular asset. So just bear with me a moment. Let's have a look to see what we got going on for. Okay. So the only big news that I can see coming in right now, okay, it's going to be on Tuesday and on Wednesday, and I think there was a big one on Thursday as well. And then we have the non-farm payroll on Friday. So yeah, so that could definitely change. But once it confirms, once it finds itself down here, it opens and closes under this structure over here, it's a no-brainer at that point what to do in terms of what it could give you. And it could give you all of this. But you wouldn't be wrong if you was loading up on sales right now at this particular level. You wouldn't be wrong. So as soon as market opens, if you started loading up on sales above here, it literally wouldn't be wrong. And I'm not saying that this is something that you should go and do. I mean, do your own research. It's just a terminology in terms of how I speak, right? So me personally, if I was going to be loading up on EURUSD, I'll be loading up from up here at this level at 1.137. That's where I'll be buying. I'm selling from, right? Obviously, the better place to sell, the absolute diamond place to sell, is at 1.12. But me, I like to sell from on top of the structure, and if I'm buying from the bottom of the structure. Do you know what I mean? Just my style. But because I know looks like, well, not because I know, because I have a feeling that this is going to spill over to the downside, right? I'll be confident in taking sales from up here, supposedly taking buys from down there. So we're going to leave this on, this particular hypothetical sell order. We're going to leave that on, and we'll see how that looks tomorrow. Market opens, what direction that's going to be going into. Okay, let's go back to the 4 hourly, and then finally, let me reduce the size of this. Okay, so finally we're going to look at GBPJPY, and that's looking terrible. But I knew that from last week when I set it up. So last week when I set up this hypothetical sell, I knew that it was going up, but I was like, oh, you know what, we're gonna do a market sell, we're gonna hold it, and we'll see what happens. So this is more or less, this is the moment of truth. The moment of truth right now is what it's gonna do right now at this particular level, and there is no confirmation right now. There is no confirmation right now. Market opened with the continuation of the uptrend, right? So this is what we've been getting, continuation of uptrend. So it's probably going to continue on that level of the uptrend, right? So yes, we'll see. So we will see what it does if it pulls, if it pulls down, right? This is also an important level as well, but it's not a super important level. I mean, this price action level over here is not, because this is what I kind of measured it on. Let me just double check that. Actually no, I measured it on this actually. Ooh, would have made a boo-boo in this video. So yeah, so I measured it on that. Somewhat of a confirmation, but this is not an important price action level. If it starts to pull back from here like really, then this is definitely an important price action level. Is this level good enough for me to take a gamble and say, hey, you know what, I believe it's going to go down, so let's start selling? No, it is not. I need more than that. And the structure over here kind of gives me the vibe, the feeling that this is literally going to break downwards. Let me remove this for a second. I mean, if you look at the structure that we have over here, it's losing steam. You can already see it's losing steam, and we have like this red over here. You see how it punched all the way down? The liquidity grab, how it punched all the way down. Obviously it's a black candle, but if you was to turn the colors on, this is actually will be a red one, right? See how it punched all the way down? This more or less is a liquidity grab, which basically means is that, I mean, how I interpret that basically is that sellers are literally in this zone right now. Sellers are in this zone right now, and they're about to end people's party, right? And this little thing right here, this is definitely is a red wick. Ooh, and markets are live. Okay, so markets is already open, so it's live. So this is a red wick right now, right? And this is really pushing down. So what do I do? 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 Because also at the same time I have another powerful blue wick, a bullish wick, right? So the sellers and buyers in this region are having a fight. Right now. Sellers want this down, right? And buyers want this up. Okay, they want to get more out of it. They want to get more out of it. So, what do I think is going to happen? What do I think? What do I think is the most likeliest scenario of what's going to happen? I would say in this case, I'm going to wait for tomorrow's video to see how we're going to play GBPJPY, and what I'm also going to do. So if you was to start selling, where would it, yep, so the sell levels is recommended where it is at the moment. It is where it's, yes, the sell level is where it's recommended, so that's cool. But however, let's have a look to see the buy side. Okay. All right, so we're gonna keep this sell on right now for what it is. We're gonna keep the sell on, the sell do its thing, right? And we're gonna see tomorrow if we should average sell on it. So kind of go with the same vibe that we did with gold in this situation. If we should put another sell order up here or possibly lower, but depending on if it falls, how much it's falling, it might be invalid. As a matter of fact, if I was actually thinking about placing a sell order, this would be the best time to do it. Any later and I could have missed the boat entirely. What other confirmations am I using? Well, basically it's gone into overbought in on the RSI, so we can see that area right here, overbought right here. Now RSI, like, we could do it, or it could continually go into overbought some more. It could do that. So in this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait, because there's no rush. There is no rush, and the less time you spend in the market by actually watching the market, the better you actually become at the market when you're in the market. So we're going to stay out of this game for a while, but we're going to keep an eye on it, because we really have an open position in it. We're going to keep an eye on it, and we're going to see if what it does, especially market open indicator, what that tells us. Okay, so what we've taken out from this video so far, so we have the market open indicator, which is here, right? So if you're interested, you want to use this, play around with it, there it is right there. You can access it in trading view, or if whatever other charts you're using, if it has that feature, then by all means you can use it that also, right? I think it's a great tool to have. It does its job. It's cool. It's fairly understandable. It's how to read what it is, the direction of his recommendations. I mean, for me personally, it's super straightforward. And once you get into the hang of when it sets itself up, how it normally carries itself out in business, in terms of how it does things, it is straightforward. If you do get weird days like this, when it will give you a signal and go against it, so this is it right here. So you had a signal was off a sell signal, right? So it sell, okay, no, it gave the correct one, it went into the buy. Sorry, I actually did not even see that there for a second. I literally did not, which is weird. I think I'm going blind. Actually, no, I'm not going blind. Don't want to say crazy things into existence, so no, that's not happening. I never said that. Okay, yeah, so this is the little thing right here, right? So obviously I didn't actually catch that, but yeah, it's there, so we showed it. But usually it has a little situation, so once the symbol breaks itself, in terms of it changes direction completely, usually you kind of know what to do after that. You know what I mean? Usually you kind of know what to do after that, you know. So we're going to see what produces this level, right? If it's an up one or if it's a down one. But when I get up in the morning, I should definitely be able to know what sign is given. And then yeah, we're making new content and then we upload. I don't know if I'll be uploading this tonight or if I'm going to be uploading it first thing in the morning. That's what I don't know exactly what I'm going to do when you're actually going to be watching this. So that's up in the air. Anything else I need to cover before I let you guys go? I think I've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to talk about. So we've talked about gold, we've talked about silver, we've talked about Nas, we've talked about EURUSD, and we've now concluded the whole show with GBPJPY, and we've also talked about the free indicator that some of you have been asking about, and so there you go. So if you watch it, you have trading view, you can activate it and start using it. All right, so guys, have a fantastic evening. Once again, thank you very much for coming over and watching. I appreciate you all. If you haven't done so already, if this is your first time visiting the channel, please leave a like, or and subscribe if you haven't done so already. But ultimately, I just appreciate the fact that you came over to hear what I got to say. Any feedback that you have is definitely welcome, and you can put all of that into the comments. And yeah, so have an awesome evening, or awesome morning, or awesome night, or awesome day, wherever you are. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow in tomorrow's video. So thank you, and have a great day.